Yo, what is up guys, Delboy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully you guys are doing well. If you're new here, smash that like, hit subscribe, all of that good stuff. So Naoya Inoue stops Marlon Tapales in the 10th round of their fight to become the new, undisputed Super Bantamweight champion. And of course, in doing so, Inoue now becomes a 2-weight undisputed champion. And of course, he's a 4-weight world champion. This was actually a pretty interesting fight. I think Marlon Tapales did a lot better than many people were expecting. I expected him to get to the midway point and then get stopped, but he made it a little further than I expected, and he actually made some adjustments in this fight and, dare I say, frustrated Naoya Inoue at times. Now, did Tapales win many rounds in this fight? In my opinion, no, but he was having his moments throughout, and like I said, I liked how he was kind of adjusting his game plan on the fly in this bout. Early on, first 2 to 3 rounds, it was a bit of a chess match. Both guys really were content on sitting on the outside, seeing what each guy was doing, and that favoured Inoue, in my opinion. Pretty low output to start with. Inoue, the orthodox fighter, against the southpaw in Tapales. Inoue was able to find a home for his straight right hand from range. Even the jab was scoring as well. Tapales would try to catch Inoue with something by surprise. In the first 2 to 3 rounds, Tapales was trying to reach in with his overhand left and sometimes his jab to catch Inoue by surprise. But the issue was, Inoue could see that coming. He could see it coming a mile away, and he was countering Tapales' attempts of lunging in, especially with his right uppercut. So, Tapales then made an adjustment. He actually started to close the distance on Inoue, and he started to get more aggressive. And he was putting his shots together, and at times sitting in the pocket with Inoue, and even pushing him back at times. This occurred in round 4, and Tapales actually was landing some good right hooks from the southpaw stance on Inoue, and he actually started to really target the body of Inoue, landing some good shots. But Inoue would come back with his own shots in these exchanges, and Inoue's punches were so much heavier. You could hear the audible thuds on Inoue's punches. So round 4 was a really good round. Tapales was giving as good as he got, but he gets caught with a left hook, bang on the chin. It hurts Tapales. Inoue sees that, he jumps on him, lands a couple more shots, and Tapales goes down. At this point in time, you wondered, is it time for Tapales to get put to sleep? I wondered that, but he sees out the round. He continues to round 5. Round 5, interesting because after getting hurt like that, you would assume that Tapales would be cautious. No, not the case. He was even more aggressive in round 5. In fact, I felt round 5 was one of his best rounds of the fight. Really landed some good body work on Inoue. Uppercuts to the body, right hooks to the body. He would also right hook to the head as well. He was fighting pretty well in the pocket. Don't get me wrong, Inoue was still picking holes in Tapales. But Tapales was giving as good as he got, like I said. Another aggressive round by Tapales. Inoue still had his moments though. Round 6 and onwards, interesting. Once again, we have another type of adjustment from Tapales. Rounds 4 and 5 was a lot more reckless aggression, I would say, from Tapales. After round 5, I felt Tapales was a little more subtle with his aggression. And in particular, as for southpaw, he got his lead foot on the outside of Inoue's, and he was able to stand in range with Inoue, keep him turning, while landing his jab and firing his left hand to body and head. And he was confusing Inoue a little bit. I wouldn't say Tapales was necessarily winning these rounds, but he was giving Inoue issues. Inoue couldn't quite get that right hand to land with as much regularity as he did previously in the fight. And yeah, Tapales was able to kind of keep Inoue turning a little bit while landing his own shots. After the 8th round or so, I felt Tapales started to get a little more aggressive again. Tapales would once again try to target that body of Inoue. And also at this point in time, Inoue made an adjustment himself. because Tapales was kind of keeping him turning a little bit, he actually doubled up on his right hand, which was really effective. Very often, the second right hand would catch Tapales by surprise. But yeah, both guys were fighting a good fight. Tapales was starting to get a little more aggressive, trying to work the body, but Inoue, at this point in time, found a home for his right hand again. Tapales kind of went back to his original style, which was high guard, and I think it was Jamel Herring who mentioned it. Tapales looked a lot more effective with a low lead hand and a side-on profile. He could see the shots coming better, but when he had the high guard, he couldn't see that right hand coming quite as well, or even the right uppercut. And Inoue was able to start landing those shots. He was starting to go down to the body himself, and yeah, Inoue started to get a foothold back into it. Round 10 was where the fight ended. Weird stoppage, by the way. Really strange finish to this fight. Not that it was a bad stoppage by the referee. I mean, on Tapales' part. Round 10 starts, pretty circumspect. Mainly fought on the outside. Inoue lands like a straight right. He backs up Tapales, followed by another jab straight right. Right hand lands on Tapales' chin, and Tapales goes down in a really strange fashion. I wondered whether he actually injured himself, maybe. Because it didn't look like the way somebody would go down if they were hurt to the head. And how he was moving around on the ground, it almost looked... I thought he got caught with a body shot. It was a really strange end to this fight. I thought he got shot. I thought he got hit with a body shot. Because he was kind of like crawling around on the floor. He didn't look rocked though. So I wonder whether he injured himself. I'm not sure what happened there, to be honest. I'm not sure what happened there. It was a good shot. It landed flush. But he'd taken harder shots than that throughout this fight, Tapales. He actually showed a really good chin, in fact. So yeah, a bit of a weird stoppage. Again, I wonder whether he was injured. But regardless, Inoue was having his issues in this fight, and I think he was definitely frustrated. I think it's fair to say that. But he was always in control of this fight. He was always winning the vast majority of the rounds. Maybe Tapales won 2 rounds, something like that. But he did a lot better than people were expecting, including myself. I knew Tapales was a tough guy. I always saw him as an aggressive guy, but in this fight, I liked how he was switching his game plan up. He did well. The Stephen Fulton fight was much more hyped than this was, and Tapales did a much better job. He gave Inoue a much better fight. Tapales showed some good skills in there, showed some good adjustments. I think he definitely has a future at super bantamweight once Inoue moves up. He showed some decent adjustments, he showed some good skills. He actually impressed me. He showed me things I've never seen from him before. Not that I've seen him fight like a boatload of times, but I've seen him fight before, and he showed me some new things in there, so fair play to him. As for Inoue, listen, he becomes a 2-weight undisputed champion. He was undisputed at bantamweight, now he's undisputed at super bantamweight. What next for Inoue? Does he go to featherweight? You guys tell me. At super bantamweight, there are still a couple of fights that could make sense. Maybe John Riel Casemiro. I think that's a good fight for him. Casemiro's a former multi-weight world champion. Luis Neri is a former world champion. MJ Akhmadaliev is a former unified world champion. There's still fights for Inoue at a super bantamweight. So maybe he could take one of those fights. I wouldn't be mad at any of those fights I just mentioned. So Inoue's got options at super bantam. What I would like to see personally would be for Inoue to have a couple of defences of his undisputed at super bantam and then move to featherweight. That's what I would like to see. But anyway, share your thoughts below. Beanie Guy Delboy, what did you make of Inoue's performance? I felt he got the job done. Ultimately, he was in control of this fight, but it was competitive at times. Share your thoughts below. Beanie Guy Delboy. Peace.